going live. There we go. You're live, right? It's gone live now, according to YouTube. Right, I'll be streaming for an hour today, assuming that the internet holds out, because I was planning on streaming yesterday, and then the internet cut out 3 or 4 times during the day, and I thought, I'm not going to risk it. And then I think if I was going to stream about 8 o'clock anyway, about 20 to 8:30, the internet was just down for about 10 minutes anyway, so it would have wrecked the stream if I'd done it at that time anyway. But I think the internet so far today has been all right. So, hello. So, yeah, hopefully the internet will stay working fine for the time I'm doing the stream today, and we can actually get a stream done. All right, how are you in the Czech Republic, OK9? Everything here is all right. I've got my second vaccine tomorrow, so hopefully I don't really get any side effects from it like the first one, but once that's done, I'm fully vaccinated, so that's good. Wow, I think it's meant to be like 3 weeks after the second jab, isn't it? But still. All right, Fuzzy? That's very cool, Sinky. Personally, I wouldn't pay that for one, but yeah, that's very cool, don't get me wrong. Like, I can definitely see the appeal behind it, and if you wanted one badly, you know, obviously it's worth paying the money. It's just personally, you know, I couldn't really justify that on something like that. Right, Bright, all right, Mike? So, hello, everybody. So, obviously, don't post spoilers here, but I did finish today. All right, Steve? I did finish today. There's some random person on here saying scammer for no reason. I think you've probably come onto the wrong stream, Lucas. What am I selling? I don't know. All right, Alexei. Yeah, I've got one, but like I say, I'm not clued up really too much from radios. So yeah, I think Gash Goblin, it's probably just either too many people using the servers, whatever service providers, you know, too cheap to put good infrastructure in or whatever, I'd assume. But anyway, so Resident Evil Village, I actually really enjoyed it. No spoilers for those who haven't played it, but I finished that properly today, and I was like, oh, there's Mercenaries mode in this, like Resident Evil 4. Right, that's very strange, Lucas. As in, do you mean bananas tonight as in an M40 gas mask? Yes, I do. I don't have an M40 grenade launcher or whatever. Right, Thomas. So I will have to do another lateral flow test tonight just to confirm I am safe to go and get vaccinated tomorrow, but I'm sure I will be. Yeah, Mike, hopefully at some point it will either be on a sale or one of the PlayStation games of the month. But I imagine for game of the month, it will take quite a while, won't they, before they put it on that. I don't mind giving you a bit towards it if it's on sale at some point, because it's definitely worth getting it, and it'd be good to watch you stream it, obviously, after you've played it through the first time. And as I said, they seem to put a lot of, like, New Game Plus sort of content into this one. Like, I know Resident Evil 2 had quite a lot as well, but, you know, like, to encourage you to replay it quite a few times, you know, like, you play it one time, you unlock something, and the next time you unlock something. No, Thomas, it's not water, it's a fan. I mean, technically, there would be water in the water cooler or some sort of liquid. Let me see if I can get that to go a bit lower, just a second. I actually think it's normally my GPU 2 that does the, like, really loud fan noise. I don't think GPU 1's as bad because it's a bigger GPU. Let me just play about with this a moment. So give me a minute and... Right, is that better? That's the loudest fan that's gone down now, and that was, yeah, GPU 2. Just because it's a smaller card, so the fans sound louder when they spin up. Well, that sounds good, Brighton. Let me have a look at what Steve's just sent me. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I won't say what that was out loud, Steve, unless you want me to. But yeah, that is interesting. Unless you actually said in the chat about it. I don't think Ash Goblin, the hacking ransomware stuff on the US pipeline would be much causing problems in the UK. I imagine it's just more lots of people working from home because of coronavirus, strain on servers, and internet companies are too cheap to provide good services. Because right, Stu, if I didn't say hello, because a lot of people, a lot of the time, a lot of companies with internet providers, they're going to provide you the worst service possible they can and still get your money. I don't know what you mean by E25. Thank you, Brighto. You've reminded me to do a video on about it. Right. Hopefully, I will do a video on it either Friday or Sunday, if I remember to get it out to do the video on it. Well, I got my Romanian M84 from eBay. So, although Romanian gas masks are actually from Romania, surprise, surprise, I bought mine on eBay. How do you buy a Scott GSR? You buy one online, and then hope somebody doesn't tell you it's stolen property. That's interesting, isn't it? That's weird. That's annoying me. It's like Telegram's doing the thing saying you've got an unread notification. It was the thing I was looking at. If you're asking, are there any Russian half-face masks? Well, it's not like there's some in the background right there. I don't know any foreign languages. Closest I know to a foreign language is German. Speaking of Germans, which one of these shall I watch later? And that's the good Stalingrad film, by the way, the 1990s one. But I found out there was a Blu-ray release of it, so I had to get it, even though it's quite expensive. And of course, like I said, paid out the arse for this on Blu-ray, but there's finally a Blu-ray of it. Well, I've never heard of it, Supreme Leader, but German World War II tanks, some are good, some are crap. The main problem with German World War II tanks is they didn't have enough spare parts and fuel to actually run them. So, they should have made mass-produced tanks a bit like Panzer IVs or lightweight Panthers, not Tigers, Tiger IIs. Well, I know they're both good movies. That's why I've bought them. I've seen them both before. But it's which one do I watch tonight? But yeah, Waterloo is fucking amazing for those of you who haven't seen Waterloo. This has probably got the most actors in it in any film possible, I think. Just because it's got, 80,000 Red Army soldiers or something in it, pretending to be Napoleon's troops in, red coats. But, yeah, some Pink Floyd's The Wall. It doesn't surprise me, Bernard. I knew Romanians were involved in it. But... let's go AK-47. Sorry if I'm missing some comments. The chat's moving quite quickly tonight because it says there's 30-odd people on. Yes, I played Metro. I don't know what you mean by that, OK9. I've got 40mm P3 filters, but do you mean just really small P3 filters? If so, then no. Most of them are still the same size as a regular filter, just narrow, not narrow. So if you have a regular filter that big, they're that big, but they're still as wide. But yeah, how long is each one? So Stalingrad is just over 2 hours. This one is... oh, they're almost the exact same length. That's weird. Stalingrad is 2 hours and 17 minutes. And Waterloo is 2 hours and 13 minutes. So it doesn't really make a difference in terms of which one I watch, in terms of running length. I mean, MTP camo and all those work pretty well over here. But the thing is, in lots of the UK, there is different kind of environments. If you're on beaches or kind of sand duney, sort of dry sort of areas, that looks very different than dense woodland or fields. Yeah, I've seen Come and See before, Sick UK Band. That's a good film. I mean, it's a pretty horrible film, isn't it? But horrible in a good way. Very well-made film. Well, exactly, whoosh. That's my point. Is Waterloo is if you want to see a film they just never make today in terms of like the amount of people on screen. Ah, that sounds good, Rich. Right, Rajiv. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Second jab tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good point, Steve. Because yeah, multicam Tropic is like just a greener version of multicam, isn't it? Just looks a bit greener. But yeah, I might watch Waterloo just because that way, if I end up looking away from the screen a moment, I'm not going to have missed them speaking in German with subtitles on. Because where I've got this on DVD, weirdly, the DVD has an English dub. It's not too bad a dub, actually. But, you know, like, I'd rather watch it with subtitles on as it was meant to be, you know, watched. No, I keep meaning to watch 1917 and never getting around to it. I doubt it's as good as Stalingrad, though, in all honesty. I know it's a different war, but still. Yeah, you might as well, Katie. I mean, Swedish Type 32s are very much like the British sort of civilian masks in World War II. It's just very simple design. I do like a lot of the Russian camos, XJ, but I don't really have many. The only one I've got is their copy they did of the World War II, you know, SS one, SS Leto, which is basically no chocolate muffin. The box and the accessories that Hype sent separately have arrived, but the pen is still stuck in transit at the moment. In theory, WT Oasis, you can get spare parts. Whether or not it's economical to get the spare parts, I don't know. All right, Dan. What I was saying to other people is got my second jab tomorrow, so that's all right. Hopefully, I don't get many side effects. Well, I mean, both Waterloo or Zulu. There's also Zulu Dawn. Saying that, I haven't got Zulu on Blu-ray, but yeah, both are very good, aren't they? I'd probably have to rewatch both of them nearly back to back to tell you which one I prefer, but both are very good. Yeah, I'll have a look for it at some point, AK. But yeah, the only problem with watching entire films with subtitles on, I have to really be in a mood to concentrate, because otherwise I can stop, like, you know, reading at a decent pace, and then obviously you lose half the plot of what's going on in the film. Ah, that's good, chocolate muffin. Yeah, so I've got all the accessories for my 8-watt now, minus the batteries, because obviously I had to buy the batteries separately, because Hype couldn't post them, you know, for obvious reasons, with lithiums through, like, regular postal stuff. But, yeah, so I'm just waiting for the actual pen to be delivered. I'll have a look at the tracking. But yeah, from what I understand, like, it's had all, like, the actual tracking, you know, like, it looks like it's going to get through all the customs, no problem. It's just, you know, the slowness of some stuff with, like, you know, waiting for flights and things like that. But, you know, it'll turn up when it turns up, and you'll get videos on it when it turns up. But yeah, I might have to rewatch that, Rajiv, especially in, like, 1080p or whatever, because obviously last time I saw it was probably on VHS. Favorite one from all time burner account, I definitely have to think British Grenadiers, I'm tempted to say, because, you know, it's from my country. But yeah, that's it. Obviously the problem with international postage with Corona on and everything else and lack of flights is that some stuff comes quite quickly and other stuff just gets held up for ages when it's waiting to be assigned a flight and then scanned in at Heathrow or whatever. I might do at some point, Alex, but I normally do those as, like, members videos now, just because otherwise you get too many questions to do in, like, a single video. I do not have a 4K TV, Rajiv, but yeah, that'd be good. All right, Newt, if I didn't say hello already. Well, the Canada thing, if you're on about the one I did in the video today, XJ, is from, like, the Cold War. It was a Soviet thing. It wasn't modern Russia. But it's just the point that it can happen. Because if you've got an RTG, let's see if I can remember the acronym. Radio radionuclide thermal thermal something generator, wasn't it? Thermal electric generator. Radionuclide thermal electric generator, RTG. But yeah, the point is that if you shoot stuff into space that's designed to be powered by nuclear waste, if it eventually comes back down to Earth, it's still nuclear waste. Um, I can't remember without looking brighter. When I get it out, you'll see it on the video. But I mean, you get minor radiation accidents pretty frequently just because of the sheer amount of radioactive, like type stuff in the world. What about Sputnik? What's your point? Is it we're not talking about Sputnik? We're on about RTGs. If they come down in the ocean, though, it's probably not so much of a problem because people aren't really going to be picking it up. I suppose if it disintegrates, it's eaten by fish, then those fish are fished and eaten, then it is a problem. But the thing I'm actually on about is RTGs, radio thermoelectric generators, that are used in satellites, in like more modern satellites. And then when they come down, if they're not recovered, that's radioactive, like fallout essentially right by your house potentially. Yeah, they sound pretty much equal to nonces, Alex saying, as in they should be shot, but I haven't really heard of that, no, but I do know about a lot of like evil shit that goes on like that with, criminal scum. Alright, the person who keeps spamming things I'm just getting rid of because I'm assuming that they're coming on knowing the answers to things, because considering they've asked several things that are in the FAQ type things, that is generally a clue of somebody, I know the answers because I've watched the videos, but I'm going to ask you to annoy you. The official ones I got WTA Oasis for about £30, and that was back years ago when the S10 was about £30, so they were relatively expensive then. At the moment, £30 is a lot cheaper than S10. I've done several videos on various 3D printed Gostinato. Well, they're not Gostinato filters, but if you mean the adapters, some of them are absolute crap. Some of them fit pretty well, but I'd still worry about air getting in unless you're using it with a PAPR system because of the fact that it's porous 3D printed plastic. Yeah, it's probably, Katie, because you're basically a closed-off nation in the sense for it, aren't you? I mean, I think the only reason in the UK we get a lot of better price stuff is our proximity to like mainland Europe, where lots and lots of surplus comes from. Well, yeah, it's almost like the Soviet Union XJ had a habit of not properly caring for radioactive stuff. But I mean, it's not the only nation that's done it. Britain's had Windscale. We've had several accidents at Sellafield. There's been other nations that have done similar things. But I think the Soviets take the cake when it comes to like the biggest world scary nuclear accidents. For whoops, comrade, where is the proof? But yeah, because there's the other big radioactive spill they did as well as Chernobyl, and both of them are like pretty up there on the list of hazardous to life radiation accidents. There's lots of strange ones though, XJ, where people have found radioactive waste in the like walls of buildings. It's not been like single isolated cases, but like where radioactive waste actually just gets sent to foundries and then it's like made into building material that then goes into a building and ends up poisoning people. Well, they used to be for sure brighter when the masks and the outserts were both around £30. Now I imagine the outserts would be cheaper than the masks, but yeah. No, apparently it's very, very rare Japanese CBRN gear. I'm assuming they just don't export it. I know that some collectors have it, but I imagine they pay a lot for it. Is that the one I'm thinking of, XJ, where they had like the radioactive landslide into the lake because they didn't bother cooling loads of radioactive waste? Snowfox, Fukushima is nowhere near as bad as Chernobyl if you look at the actual potential for harm it's done to the Earth. If you mean sort of in terms of not having a proper cleanup, then I guess you could argue it's worse. But in terms of loss of life and everything, Chernobyl is by far a much worse nuclear disaster because Chernobyl had the chance, basically, of wiping out probably half of the life in Europe if it wasn't cleaned up properly. Because if they'd let the, essentially a bigger thermal explosion happen later, and that deposited 4 reactors worth of fallout all over Europe, yep, that would be the end of Europe. So Fukushima's nowhere near that bad, mostly because of improvements of nuclear safety. Yes, but Fukushima also hasn't technically killed anyone, so I don't know what your point is. You know that radiation is dumped in the waters by several nations, even when there's not nuclear disasters. They just literally dump it there. In terms of how many people and animals and like ecology have been destroyed, Chernobyl is far worse. Is Fukushima bad? Yes. On the scale of Chernobyl, is it bad? No, not at all. And I still think it's awful, but it's very much hyped up by the media compared to like what's actually happened. Because the sad thing is, if you didn't know about this, several places in the world just literally dump nuclear waste straight into the ocean. They don't care. So the fact they're doing that with Fukushima, that's bad, but it also is done by several other nations anyway. It wouldn't have even have to have been the 2 megatons, though, would it, Alex Saint? As long as it was a big enough explosion to just destroy the 4 reactors, that would have been it. You know, there'd be so much nuclear waste deposited all over Europe, death to most of the continent. Yeah, okay, don't get me wrong, Fukushima is bad, and it proves why you probably need to have some sort of idea of why these sort of things can happen. But I think a lot of people seem to think that Fukushima came close to like ending the world of radiation. It really didn't. But a person saying, where can you buy a cheap bunker? Well, if I knew, I'd already have one. You just have to get lucky buying one, I assume. Yeah, so basically dump any sort of horrible shit into it, actually, yeah. They've already done the new one, Box Boy, but since they've done that, they're actually having more fission build up in the, like, corium stuff. Because apparently, because no water is, like, dripping in now, it's not cooling it off, and they're actually having fission, Right, Oasis, I'm getting sick of this. You know the answer to this. I don't have one till I have one. That is the answer. Like, I don't know why this has to be explained over and over again. It's like saying, if you haven't bought a house yet, do you have a house? Well, you can have a savings thing, but until you get a good deal, you don't have one. So the answer is no, I do not have a bunker. Am I closer to a bunker than 2 months ago? Sure. But if no one sells them, then I don't have one. Well, yeah, AK-47. I think the fact that Chernobyl basically was one of the main things that wrecked the Soviet Union, and Japan didn't collapse, did it, in the sense that Fukushima happened, oh no, our country is being sold off. No, it's just, the thing is, W2A Oasis, it's like every other stream when I do a public one, that gets asked. And it seems to be like people ask it, like, knowing the answer already. Because like I said, if I had a bunker, there'd be a video straight away saying, look, here is my new bunker. And then there'd be, like, restoration videos on, like, everything being done up on it. But, you know, until you get one that's physically sold, you don't have one. And again, like, this is the thing. You don't buy one for £100, you know, you're looking 15 to 50,000 sort of pounds for the price of one. So you get one when you get one. It's a thing of constantly saving, constantly looking for one. We thought we got lucky a week or 2 ago when a load of people on a members stream spotted one that was for sale for a good price. And then, of course, what ended up happening was when we looked at it, there wasn't one actually for sale. It was sold 10 years ago. And I've got rid of the person that's asked me the same question they've asked several other streams I've already answered. Because if you don't listen to my answers, why bother asking me a question? So yeah, you see, that's the annoying thing with public streams, is that you get people come on who will literally keep asking the same questions. So there we go. If you don't listen, I'll use now to shield a members thing. So the reason there's a join membership thing up is basically every other time I do a stream, I do a members stream where people on there actually want to be on the streams. I mean, if you had a vehicle SICK UK ban, there are a lot of APCs and tanks that have NBC overpressure systems. So basically any of those would be fine. I mean, in theory, the thicker the armor on a vehicle, the better the protection from radiation through inverse square law, but also you're probably going to move slower and use more fuel. But yeah, it's more of a thing of so like I said, most sort of Cold War era and forwards military APCs, IFEs, and tanks will have overpressure NBC systems. Colin Furs can't build ROC post Gallic, so it's irrelevant. Again, if you don't know what a Royal Observer Corps post is, look it up. Yeah, there'd be a lot of things SICK UK banned you could do, I imagine, with vehicles if you had something that, you know, wasn't a proper NBC vehicle. There's probably different things you could do, and then, you know, overpressure. You know, with respirators, like a PAPR system, how it overpressures a mask. Same thing with a vehicle. NBC materials can't get in through gaps in the armor or whatever because the pressure inside is greater than that outside. Yeah, lose war in Afghanistan, you know, create the world's biggest nuclear disaster. Whoops, all our money is gone, especially because communists don't really, you know, have money in a sense. And when I say that, I mean it in this sense. Look, I've got loads of money because my fiat note says I have. That's my point. Joshua, India didn't start coronavirus. I don't know what you're trying to suggest there. There's a variant, the Indian variant, but that's just as much here now as it is in India. Well, I mean, there's a lot more cases in India, but, you know, because they didn't shut the borders when they were told to, like 4 weeks ago. Oh, look, it's spreading here. What a surprise. Nearly all the ones in Oxford are demolished Justin as well. You have to basically buy one in counties where land isn't as valuable. Yeah, I'm sure that will be a good thing to add to it, Fluzzy. Oh, yeah, exactly, Rich. But I don't think a lot of people realise when they come on here what we're on about. We're on about buying old, like, milsurp property. I actually did a video explaining that, Jay, to the best of my ability. I find it interesting. There's not really any good explanation to it other than I find it interesting. If you get a working DP75, yes, they're pretty good. I'm hoping not, because I've been told, you know, now I'll be back to work soon. So if we get locked down again, then I've got another chance to get laid off. So I hope not. I suppose the CT12 in some ways might be the rarest mask I have, even though I wouldn't say a CT12 is particularly rare, but they seem to be rare when people actually want to get them. Yeah, exactly. Let it pick it up. What I think it definitely sped it up by like 5 to 10 years. Regarding the DP75, there's actually one up there. See that brown box up there? Next to gas mask satchels on that shelf? DP75. Yes, it's good. That's a DP66 there. It's a broken one anyway, it's just in the background. It's a Yugoslavian RPK without the bipod on it. Can't show it you now because of YouTube rules. Which particular war are you on about, Boxboy? Because you'd first need to define like what conflict or like era of warfare you're on about, and then we can discuss which films are most accurate. But there's no point comparing like World War I or World War II films to like medieval warfare films, ancient warfare films. You know, like ancient Orient warfare films. The actual Polish MP5 is a good mask. The French ARFA is not. This is a live stream, not a video, Snowfox. That's the difference. If this was a regular video, in theory, there should be nothing stopping me showing the AK, except for the fact I did have one gun video taken down for no reason. I don't know Chocolate Muffin. I don't think I've ever used it. Yeah, there's not really a reason for most of those things, XJ, that's the thing. You could get maybe some Sigmund Freud type bloke to give you a big long answer due to sexual fetishes or something, I don't know, but for a regular person like me, I don't know, I find them interesting. But, what was the thing I was answering? My voice is going a bit, so, I'm not Where Eagles Dare, but that's my favourite World War II film. Saying that, weirdly, even though it's behind me, if you're on about actual accuracy, like, it's like the threads of World War II films, probably this. We just literally explained that, XJ, like 5 minutes ago. They're too bloody expensive here to build. You can get a much cheaper one in theory if you buy and restore an actual old military one, where there's still some around. If you wanted to buy the land and build your own, you'd be looking at 5 to 10 times the cost. So yeah, I'd say maybe Stalingrad for the most accurate World War II film. I'll have to confirm that again when I rewatch it, but from what I remember, this is like horribly, horribly accurate in terms of how bleak it is. I like the really old Tomcat Mark IIs, but they're not really even made anymore, those. You'd have to get a Tomcat 2 now rather than a Tomcat Mark II. Lennox says several things. It will be condition of it, how much land you get with it, location of it in the UK, access rights, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, in theory, if you went really far up north, you got a horrible condition ROC post with not very good land access. With a tiny bit of land, around it plus the bunker. You might even get one for 10k still if it gets listed. But if you look in the south of the UK for one, you're normally looking at 50 grand plus. Yeah, but we're on about the UK, not Albania. I know Albania's got a shitload of bunkers. Right, good luck with that, Joshua. Hopefully you get it done by somebody who does a good job of it, because I'm sure lots of people regret having tattoos done by people who aren't very good at getting tattoos done. Right, I'll get rid of the person calling me a nonce. You can fuck right off. Why would I want to buy a nuclear bunker? Because I'm interested in CBRN stuff. I don't know, it must be because you're a paedophile. Oh, what fucking weird. What would I do in a solar flare shit at the fan scenario? Probably not care. If everybody dies, we all die. What's the problem? Yeah, I think he wasn't very good at wording it, Flazzy. Oh, are you buying a bunker to keep child sex slaves in? Ooh, that's what I do. All right, I'll probably finish the stream fairly soon because my voice is going a bit and we've had a lot of idiots on tonight. When I stream tomorrow, it will definitely be a members stream just because it means that we can actually have a chat without people wasting our time. We're not on about Snowfox. We're not on about missile silos. We're on about ROC posts. I think you've got something wrong with you if there's a single person you can't maintain an ROC post once it's been restored. All right. Well, enjoy your GP5. Don't breathe through the filter with it. Nope, and for obvious reasons. But yeah, we're not on about like Titan missile silos here. We're on about ROC posts. You'd have less difficulty maintaining an ROC post in this like single bedroom house, I'd imagine, because you're not ever going to have to be like, oh, I need more loft insulation, or you know, I need to repaint several rooms in my house. I need to take the right Royal Observer Corps Snowfox. I'm literally telling you exactly what ROC is. You can literally Google it and find out exactly what it is. All right, Mike. Do you know what you'll be streaming? You said you finished Resident Evil 3, didn't you? Yeah, I might be on then. But yeah, that means I won't be able to watch a film tonight then. Right, you'll either see me or you won't. Depends if I decide to start watching a film or not. Right, the thing is, WTA Oasis, if you genuinely didn't know, you didn't know. But the problem is, I'm sick of some people saying that because of the amount of people, you know, like, who have done it over and over and then keep claiming they don't know. Yeah, just clean it in the sink, XJ. It's not hard. You might as well then, Katie, I suppose. But yeah, I think sick UK ban. Sometimes some of the comments you see on these prove as like a good advertisement for some people why it's good to join up on memberships, because it's just you know, it ends up generally being much sort of more civil discussion in a way, because of the fact that you know, the only people coming on really are the people that really sort of want to talk about milsurp type stuff. But yes, I'll show you an ROC post without you having to do anything. Here you go. Here is a picture of an ROC post. If you bought a single bedroom flat with a toilet in it, I bet you would be paying a hell of a lot more than even like the most expensive surplus ones of these. But it's a monitoring post. I've got a video up of a broken up sort of one on my channel. But they're nuclear monitoring posts the UK built over 1,500 of during the Cold War. Combination fallout shelter / bomb shelter / monitoring post, Snowfox. But yes, if you think when people say bunkers, they think like civil bunkers. No, it's much more of a like single family fallout shelter kind of thing. Yes, but they're proper military built ones. Some of them actually weirdly do say that sick UK band, but they say that because it's basically what you can see from the land on the surface. But yes, you're not going to get a good view when you're sat down there in your bunker, unless I guess you put a CCTV camera up or some sort of periscope system through the vent so you can look into a mirror and see outside. But yes, look at Surviving the Apocalypse's channel if you've not seen one, because he's got one he runs as a museum that he bought and restored, and they are pretty cozy when you've actually done them up, because, you know, they're not super big, but you can have them, you know, like painted and insulated and everything. I mean, technically, Chocolate Muffin, you could, if you wanted a skylight, all you have to do is just take that bit off, and then you've got a skylight looking straight up. But then again, defeats the point of having the bunker. I don't think I even have Left 4 Dead 2 installed on my PC. I mean, that would be cool, TM, but the point is, I don't want to be living here. The point is, I want to buy a bunker and move into it. Wouldn't that be a cool project? Why don't you have it built in your garden? No, no, no. Katie, if in theory, like ROC posts were done with prefabs, but if in theory you dug out the proper shape for the foundations and you put some of like the rebar type stuff in the foundations, you could probably pour concrete down and build something pretty similar pretty well. You probably wouldn't be able to get it as good as the proper prefabbed ones, but you could definitely build like a proper concrete storm shelter thing in the same sort of design. You could put glow-in-the-dark things on it, couldn't you, XJ? That would work. Put glow-in-the-dark little kid stars on it so you can look up at them like that. Oh, you don't want the bunker to be properly airtight because then you'll suffocate. You need a filter system that's actually moving air for you if it's airtight. But yes, actual airtight bunkers aren't a good idea. You want you want one where air comes through but it's filtered. But yeah, don't make an airtight bunker. That's not a good idea. That's the equivalent of putting a plastic bag on your head. Both as good in terms of CBRN protection, as in you'll be dead. Like the bunker will live a bit longer because it will take the carbon dioxide longer to fill up the gap you're in. But yes. What do you mean from T3? Terminator 3? I've not watched Terminator 3 in years. Don't plan on rewatching it. There's 3 good things when I think of the Terminator. The original Terminator, the best film. Terminator 2, pretty good, not as good as the original Terminator. And Terminator Resistance, the game, very good. That's it, isn't it, when it comes to Terminator? Now and again, I hear people say about films that don't exist, like, what was it? Salvation and Genesis or something like that. Sounds like fan fiction to me. I'm saving the money up myself. You don't ask a bank for it. You buy it with your own money. You can save money yourself. I don't know if this is a weird thing, but you don't have to get a mortgage. Literally, all you do is every month when you get paid by the company you work for, you put some of it into a savings account. And that's what I'm on about. When you get enough money and one comes up for sale, you buy it. You don't involve a bank. You buy it with your own money. I mean, maybe a bank would give you a loan for it or a mortgage, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not taking on debt. Sensible people don't really take on debt unless they know exactly how fast they can pay it back. What you do is you save up money and then you've got your own money, your own savings. That's how people always used to do it back in the good old days. I don't want to sound like an old person now, but, that is a good thing to do with your money. I mean, you could do Snow Fox, but again, I'm more interested in old actual British MOD stuff that's just like, abandoned rotting that you can sometimes buy cheaply and restore. That sounds interesting, Rich. I'll have to check that out myself when I think to remember to do it. Anyway, Mike, I will watch you on Twitch later. I'll definitely watch you on Twitch if you're on tonight rather than the film. As long as I know you're on, then I'll watch you tonight. So it's at 10:30 you're starting. What's that from now? What's now coming up to 9? So what, about an hour and a half time? Yeah, I imagine there's going to be one of those bankers hate him type pictures about me now. Have a savings account? What do you mean? I mean, I could also say, can I give you some Zimbabwe funny money for it? Look, that's a lot more than £50,000. Look, you want £50,000? How about I give you $50 billion? No, if you're being serious, there are actually videos on YouTube of people restoring them. It's surprisingly easy. If you've got a concrete hulk of a shell, it's not very hard. You literally drain any water out of them. You air them out, like using dehumidifier type stuff, and then repaint it, put some chemicals down if you need to kill any surviving mold. That's literally all there is to it. It's not as hard as you'd think. If you have a concrete shell that was built to be bomb-proof, they're not very hard to restore. You're probably going to struggle more to upgrade the ventilation system and rewire it than you are going to have issues in terms of like drying it out and painting it. Oh, I wish chocolate muffin. I mean, for that money, I should hopefully be able to buy one of the government ones, but no. But yeah, sadly, this money is worth absolutely fuck all because it's communist joke money. Anyway, I'll do a member stream tomorrow for anybody on. Have a good evening. I've had a laugh tonight, even if some of the questions were a bit weird.